And so the question is, what do we need to practice to wake up? What do we need to practice to wake up? The first one, in this last example, was to acknowledge what's going on, accept it, and not resist it. Right? Now, nobody was being harmed by the fact that the bed was hard, right? There was nothing that needed to be changed. It was all fine. It was a decision that I had made. Karen had willingly gone along with it. And so to acknowledge and accept and move into non-resistance, that this is all part of the choice that I've made, and to stop being completely driven by comfort and convenience. Ernest Holmes writes this: everything is as real as it is supposed to be. If a person hurts, he hurts. If she feels badly, she cries. There is want, lack, and apparent limitation in human experience, and there is no use denying it. But perhaps it doesn't need to be. Perhaps it is not intended to be. Right? So we start with acknowledging it. And if there's nothing to do about it, to have acceptance and non-resistance to it. Now, the second way is to change the second practice is to change our perspective, to look for the good, to see the good, to feel the feelings, and not to distract from them, not to not engage with them, but to hold them differently, to change our perspective about it. We can begin to look for good news. We can find out what is happening that is in alignment with what we want to see. There's so many ways in which we can change our perspective. In Karen's example with her dad, right, is to really move into that spiritual reality. He's always going to be here. He's in the pond, he's in the trees, she can talk to him. He looks over her shoulder and looks at all those beautiful wildlife pictures she's taking, right? Or the perspective of, oh my gosh, he's gone forever. And not that there's not grief, but there's a spiritual truth there too. Ernest Holmes says this: science of mind is a liberation theology. The negative use of the creative power of thought, then, is a very real thing, and indeed is at the root of all of our troubles. The negative use of the law. And while we persist in believing that evil is as real as good, we shall experience the evil in which we believe. While we persist in thinking and acting as though limitation were the law of life, we shall continue in bondage. To free ourselves from the contemplation of evil and bondage, projecting as it does the forms of lack, unhappiness, physical disease, and such, is the whole aim and purpose of the science of mind and spirit. To see life from a different perspective. Yes, absolutely, to acknowledge what's going on and to see it from a different perspective. So we affirm the spiritual love and intelligence is moving as humanity through all of the changes that we are seeing and engaged in. We affirm the good. We look for the good. I found a whole new news outlet. I meant to tell you about it. I found a whole new news outlet of all the amazing climate work that is being done around the world. It is phenomenal, phenomenal, the amount of changes that have happened just in the last 3 to 5 years. People are taking this seriously, and humanity is, in fact, the intelligence and love of the universe showing up. We're not powerless. That's what we have to wake up to.